Welcome to The Planet, the podcast for L Word fans. I'm Elka.
And I'm Casey.
This week we will be discussing the episode Latecomer.
Okay, well that's got to be the most depressing opening scene we've had yet.
God, it was just heartbreaking.
It was really sad. That's all. I mean, what can you say? I think in one of our first podcasts of the season, I said something like, well, we're obviously never going to see the scene where they broke up.
God, I wish I hadn't seen that.
So sad.
And plus, Alice doesn't ever look cuter than when she's wearing green. She's wearing green. She's so cute. She's crying, and I just
wanted to hug her.
So many people have done that around me, like, "Oh, don't break up with me, man."
Oh,
no,
you
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I'm on the other end. I can't live without you.
It was so sad. Any other character, it wouldn't have been as bad.
It looked like Alice ran after her when she was leaving, like she was going to beg for her to stay or something.
Laura is cute, but
they're both. I mean, Dana has to pick from like the two cutest girls on the show.
In the universe.
Yeah. First they ripped our heart out, then
they pooped all over us. We get a nice Cleveland steamer from Showtime this week.
We go to Bet and Tina in bed together. I think she's awake, and Bet puts her arm around her and she's kind of
half asleep.
Yeah. Bet says, sorry, I didn't mean to touch you.
Yeah, when she wakes up, she immediately recoils and says, oh, I'm sorry, I know you don't like me to touch you. And then she asks her to move out of their room.
I think she meant their house. But Tina was like, well, where the hell am I going to go? And then she was like, well, at least move into the next bedroom.
If Tina starts fucking men, I don't think Bet's going to be so eager to put her up in her own apartment this time. That gave me the feeling of like when you're in a relationship and it's over, but you just haven't ended it yet. You wake up, you're like, oh my fucking God, are you still here?
Well, I think surprisingly, Tina seems to be the one who's having the problem. I mean, Bet's like, well, just leave. Has she not given any thought to Angelica? She tells her she needs to leave, and then Bet goes to get the baby, and then Tina goes and takes the baby out of Bet's arms.
And walks away, goes into the other room with her.
And that was a sign of things to come, I think.
Oh my God, it's scary. I'm scared.
It was a reminder of who the birth parent is. I mean, what's she gonna say after she's done nursing the child?
What do you mean?
Well, that's her excuse for always taking the baby away from Bet right now.
I don't think that Bet's gonna stay Mama B. I think Tina's gonna take that kid away. She's gonna hook up with some guy, and I don't know. I'm scared.
I mean, what's the best thing that could happen? The best thing
they get back together and live happily ever after.
They
to
might.
Bet forever.
Anything can happen. Tina looks kind of distraught at this point.
No, she really doesn't. I think she looks annoyed.
It just seems to me that if you're whatever sexuality she is, she's dating this, she's basically married to Bet, and she's having feelings for men. I mean, wouldn't she just want to get out? She could totally just leave, and she has a total legal right to just take the baby and leave. Why doesn't she just do it? She's making money at the movie studio.
I think she's just getting some sort of security from Bet that she doesn't want to give up, because it really doesn't seem like she loves Bet anymore. At one point, Bet says, I know you don't love me, and Tina doesn't. She can't even look her in the eye.
Yeah, she doesn't say anything. But I like how Bet's coming at this from a very strong stance.
Before, Bet was begging her to come home, doing everything, and now she's like, all right, forget about it.
Get out. I think this was the first episode where she was like, come to mommy, with the baby, referring to herself as mommy. They're doing this, obviously, because something fucked up's gonna happen.
Well, you know what? Angelica's not old enough to even remember Bet.
Well, she's older than she's supposed to be on the show.
I disagree with you. She looks to me like she's a little less than a year old. She's supposed to be around 7.5, 8 months old.
Okay. Yeah, I think she's supposed to be 7.5 to 9 months old. To me, she looks like if you put her down on the ground, she'd run across the room.
You're totally wrong. First of all, she might be able to cruise a little bit, but she's not walking yet. She probably isn't standing independently, and she's not even saying mama or talking.
Do you think that they've magically reversed the aging process on the baby? The baby's obviously older than the time that is supposed to have passed.
I don't see why you're saying that. It was 6 months from the time she was born to the beginning of the season. So now it's been 7.5 months according to the intro. And the kid looks to be around 7 to 9 months old.
Okay, not to me.
With your vast experience of babies?
Yes,
Oh,
I
actually,
have like
you do. You have like, what, 50 nieces and nephews?
I was gonna say 14, I think.
Really?
I think so.
Jesus, your sister just is a breeder.
Ew, what if they all came out of the same pussy?
Ew! That thing would look like silly putty.
Also waking up in the morning is Shane and Carmen.
Which we were so anticipating this based on the scenes from next week. It's so funny.
First of all, this whole episode, Shane, I love Shane and I love Catherine Menig, but she's not like my favorite character, I guess. I mean, I love her. But on this show, she looks so cute the whole entire show.
Yes.
And she had the best return facial expressions and reactions to everything. Shane was really cute in this show.
It's like Shane didn't even need to say a word because her face said it all. The whole show. She looked adorable the whole show. She had good hair.
Good clothes. Glasses at one point.
Oh, that's right. I love girls with glasses.
She's playing Xbox.
Yeah. I know Casey likes a girl who plays Xbox. She was just consistently adorable.
So they're waking up. Carmen had a bad dream.
Oh, by the way, you get a good shot of her bird arm tattoo when they're in bed together.
Shane's?
Yeah.
So Carmen wakes up out of, I guess, a nightmare, more like a bad dream. And she's pissed off at Shane for things that she did in the dream. And it was all like artsy. And
there were paintings floating around and then you turned into a bird and flew away.
And she's like, what? What the fuck? Huh? Pretty much
she's
the
like
whole
half
show.
asleep.
Yeah, but even when later, Carmen's still pissed when she's totally awake. And Shane's just like, I'm here. I'm not flying away. What the fuck's wrong with you, crazy lady? And she doesn't walk into the doorway.
I kind of knew she didn't walk into the wall, but it looked like it in that scene, and so I thought that was funny.
They looked really cute in bed together, though.
Yeah, you're right.
All wrapped up.
Shane always looks like she just woke up.
You're
from bed with some hot chick.
Head thing.
I'm rocking the bed head pretty much constantly. Then it goes to Dana's apartment. Alice is taking care of Dana, and Dana's hair starts to fall out.
Well, wait, before that, Alice brings her a smoothie, and she puts hemp seed in it. I didn't realize that Alice was such a pothead until this season.
Well, is hemp seed illegal, or is that just something you can get?
No, I don't think it's illegal. Especially in California.
Pot, right?
Oh, I wonder if it's like a hemp seed, and as long as it's a certain sex or something, it's...
I don't know what.
But anyway, plus it's California, so she may have a prescription for something.
Yeah, that's right. I wonder if Dana has the card, the medical marijuana card.
I don't know. But anyway, she brings her the smoothie, and when she comes in, Dana's pulling out handfuls of hair.
Wait a minute. Maybe that's why Shane and Alice were playing Halo on the Xbox. Because they're taking Dana's medical marijuana.
They're all high.
No.
They didn't look high.
No, not at all.
Okay, so her hair's falling out, and that's no good. Even her eyebrows are falling out.
Yeah. And she says, maybe I should sell it on eBay. Which, you know what? That is exactly what Casey would do. You, cut your toenails. You're like, maybe I can sell these on eBay.
If anybody's interested. So Alice brings in a bag of wigs, and she shows her all these crazy wigs, and they all look ridiculous. In this episode, for some reason, they used that double mirror image thing twice. And the first use of the mirrors was with this scene with Alice and Dana.
They did use a lot of mirrors this week. You're right.
Smoke and mirrors.
What is Alice's status right now?
What do you mean?
She's at Dana's house first thing in the morning, right? Giving her a breakfast smoothie.
She's her nurse. She's taking care of her.
Alice is Dana's best friend, her ex-girlfriend.
Yeah.
Obviously still in love with her, still obsessed with her.
I'd
Alice
say
is
in love.
in limbo. What's her status? I mean, Dana is not in love with Alice, but when Alice is gonna help Dana out, when Dana needs something, she calls Alice and there she is.
I think Alice is just being there. She's trying to she is doing the right thing.
But Dana isn't there for Alice.
Dana has
before she
cancer.
was sick, she dumped her, went with Laura.
Yeah.
Alice was crushed, and Dana and Laura were like kind of... I know Alice was a total psycho, but don't you think it's weird?
a little
Alice, weird. I think Alice thinks that she's Dana's girlfriend again, or that she's gonna be. I'm sure Dana doesn't want Alice to be her girlfriend.
I think that Alice is just being there for her.
She is, but
I don't see any romantic feelings going back and forth there.
Alice is in love with Dana still.
I know, but...
That's why we didn't see any Uda this week. I'm saying that Alice is going to get her heart broken again by Dana.
You think Alice thinks that Dana is going to fall in love with her? This cancer patient is going to fall in love with her?
Yes, I do. I think Alice thinks Dana is going to fall in love with her and get better, and they're going to be together again.
I actually had the thought while I was watching the show, viewing Alice's reactions to all the horrible things that Dana is going through. Alice kind of has a look of complete loss of hope.
I don't think so.
I do. It's sad and she's crying. She doesn't seem hopeful. She's taking care of her, but she's kind of treating her like somebody's dying.
I totally disagree with you. I don't think that Alice looks hopeless at all.
But every time Dana looks sad, Alice starts to cry.
Alice didn't cry. When did she cry?
What?
She started to cry when she saw her scars, but...
And when she was in the audience at the game, Alice looked over.
That was crying with happiness.
Well, we disagree on this.
Yeah, I think you're wrong.
Well, I think you're wrong, bitch.
Fuck you.
That's it. We're just gonna go down. Throw down.
You're gonna go down? Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. Now I have to go down 3 times.
Jenny and Max. Wait, all I wrote was Jenny and Max. What was their first scene?
All I wrote was Max equal Funknast.
What? You're a big Max fan.
No, apparently I didn't know this, but I was a Moira fan.
What are you saying?
I thought I was a Max fan, but apparently I was a Moira fan. And I feel like it's a completely different person.
Well, okay, she's exhibiting every...
It's Max now. Moira's gone.
Okay, he is exhibiting every gross... Okay, fine. I refuse. I don't know. I don't feel comfortable saying he or she at this point. I guess that's normal because it's literally like right at the transition point. I guess I'll say he.
Well, yeah.
Well, Max is exhibiting the grossest male characteristics that make many lesbians dislike men. All he does is talk about himself, and he's aggressive and doesn't even acknowledge Jenny's feelings. It's horrible.
I know.
I didn't like Moira and I don't like Max, but it's different for you, which is weird.
Max is very selfish and self-centered.
Well, yeah, it's a man. I'm not a man hater.
Please.
I am not a man-hating lesbian. There are many things about men that I really like. And I like a lot of men, not in a sexual way, but like this person is worse than just somebody who was born as a man because like you said earlier, they should have, their whole life up to this point, they've been treated a certain way because they're a woman. They should have some feelings of that a woman would have. Empathy, I guess.
What I had said is that growing up your whole life being oppressed because you're a woman, and then to become a man, you would still have the knowledge that you gained from being oppressed as a woman.
I want to know what you feel. You look really kind of bothered by this, and I want to know.
Well, because I don't like to think of myself as being a prejudiced person, but I am discovering that I kind of don't like men that are manly. Well, I loved Billy, and he was a fag. I like fags, and I like butches, but I'm not crazy about Max, the straight guy, and I think that's weird.
I don't know if you could say he's a straight guy, but...
Oh, well, yeah, Max the bisexual. He's certainly acting like a straight guy.
Maybe it's the hormones. You were saying before, like, it's unpredictable, who knows what's... I told you that she was going to turn into the Incredible Hulk.
You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
I thought that he was going to throw her computer at her.
And that's not cool. No. I don't care what your gender is.
And Shane...
Jenny is like a toothpick.
Yeah.
You could breathe too hard and break her in half.
Not even...
She's a survivor. She's fragile. She's just fresh out of the loony bin.
And she's not just physically frail. She's mentally like so delicate.
I at first thought you meant to say she's emotionally delicate, but she is also mentally delicate.
Shane is kind of, I think she was sleeping on the couch because Carmen had kicked her ass out. And Shane gets up and just looks like, what the fuck?
Well, Shane punched Mark in the face. I'm sure Shane would have no problem punching Max in the face.
I don't
know.
know.
In fact, I hope that, well, no, I don't. I don't. I don't know what to say about it. I'm a little bit disturbed.
Let me refresh your memory on a few things here. First of all,
oh boy,
you said that you had exchanged your, what do you call it, your person who you're allowed to have sex with?
My get out of jail free card.
You said that you had exchanged your get out of jail card from...
I'm not going to help you out here.
No, just tell me.
No, I'm not going to participate in this rub my nose in it exercise.
To Daniela C. Are you still sticking with that?
No, I want Clea Duvall back. She's mine, bitches. Hands off.
You're fucking confused. You're more confused than Max. You need
Max
to get out.
Isn't confused. He knows exactly what he wants. Okay, well, here's the thing. I like girls that look like boys and girls that look like girls and boys that look like girls. And Max is now a boy that looks like a boy. That doesn't do that much for me.
Wait a minute. Let me write this down because I'm so confused.
Do you need a pie chart?
Yeah. I need a flow chart, a pie chart, and a condom to figure this out. What the hell? You are more confused than Max. At least
I'm not
Max
confused.
knows.
I'm just, I just go with the flow.
Chart. I'm giving you a hard time, but I think I know what you mean. Basically, you don't like male characteristics.
No, I
at least
do
the
like male.
ones.
I think it's that individual. I really expected to like Max just as much as I liked Moira, but I feel like Moira's gone and this is a whole new character. I feel like it's a totally different person and I'm just not into him.
Why do you think they're doing this? They could have addressed it differently. They could have had Moira become Max and be like a really awesome guy.
I know, because they've got some sensitive, like, look at Angus. He's a total woman in a man's body.
I have no idea where this is going. I can only think of one thing and it's really bad.
What?
I don't even want to say it. I don't know. Like, well, where do you think it's going?
I think that the testosterone is fucking with his head, and being a guy at first is going to be kind of weird for him. Like, he's going to overcompensate and try to act manly instead of just being himself. Eventually, Max will end up getting his shit together and he'll be a decent guy.
So you think this is definitely a permanent character on the show then?
No, I'm saying the arc of this person, whether he stays on the show or not. That's what I think would happen. And maybe this has something to do with the way they're shooting him up with the testosterone without a doctor and buying his drugs from some dude in the alley for a cheeseburger.
It was a blowjob, not a cheeseburger.
Yeah, Max was like, I'll suck your dick. What's that from?
A what?
That movie. It was like a crackhead and he goes up to the drug dealer and he's like, I'll suck your dick for some crack.
I don't know.
I think it was Chris Rock.
I think you're having a flashback from your college years.
I never
Chris
did.
Rock.
Yeah, he was in this movie and he was a crackhead and he said, I'll suck your dick for crack, and they shot him because they were grossed out.
I don't know.
All right, let's move on from this.
I'll suck this beer for crack. That's gross.
I'll suck your crack for beer.
Here's a beer. Oh!
Great, and it's on the computer.
The beer prematurely ejected. Hold on.
We can't podcast anymore because Casey spilled her beer on the computer. Good job. This is exactly what happened to the Buffy cast guy.
What?
He spilled his beer on his computer and he couldn't podcast anymore.
Did it really go on there?
No. I'm just fucking with you.
Okay, what were we saying?
We were just like stammering over our prejudiced and uninformed views of Max, basically. What do you think is going to happen?
I kind of don't even want to say, because what if it's true? I don't want any bad stuff to happen to anybody on the show. But I'm picturing a Matthew Shepard type of thing.
Oh my God.
But maybe.
I hope not. I mean,
that's
I
what I'm
kind of
thinking.
feel, on the one hand, the show does, kind of educate or whatever. But on
Straight
the other
people.
Yeah, but on the other hand, like, we deal with a lot of shit. I like to watch this show and just see some girls being happy, having sex, having their little dramas. I don't want it to get too heavy. But yeah, like, the rest of the world is heavy. I want some entertainment. I like the soap opera aspect of it, but I don't want it to get to be like boys don't cry.
Yeah.
I don't need that in my life.
No, it should be happy, wealthy girls in West LA with nice perky boobs.
And, their little love triangle type of problems.
I mean, because that is realistic.
What is?
Not every gay person is traumatized.
I'm not traumatized.
Shane gets up and looks like she's about to punch Moira. Shane doesn't like Moira.
Max.
Shane doesn't like Max anymore.
I don't think Shane ever did like Max. I think she just stood up for Moira and Max for Jenny's sake.
I think that Shane was willing to give Moira the benefit of the doubt, but Max, Shane's just like, fuck that person.
Yeah, it's one thing to be living with a really butchy Midwestern girl, but it's a whole other thing for a house full of dykes to have some straight dude living there. I wouldn't put up with that shit.
And then we're blessed with the sounds of the cello.
So we made 14 minutes into the show. The show was good for 14 minutes.
She's
and
so
then
talented.
fucking Octopus Head shows up.
She's so talented. Why don't you love Betty? I mean, the show is basically about Betty. If you don't like Betty, why are you watching the show, Elka? The show's about Betty.
I didn't realize that.
Oh,
I didn't know.
You didn't know that the show was completely about Betty?
I didn't know I was
Betty?
watching the B Word.
Betty?
I thought it was about, Bet and Tina and Shane and Carmen and Jenny and Max. I didn't realize the show was about
Betty?
Betty.
Betty?
And
have you heard enough
what?
about Betty yet? Let's talk about Betty for about 45 minutes, because Betty...
Well, it's only been 14 minutes into the show. There's a whole lot of more time that we could have Betty.
I can't take it anymore. The show, it's such a good show. And then
Why?
Nobody likes Betty.
Throughout this podcast, I've talked a lot of shit. That's pretty much what I do. And I have really not said that much about Betty. I've gotten a little jab in here or there, but it's all been good-natured.
Whatever.
I've held my opinion back about Betty. We even said nice things about Easy Girl, who wrote that last episode.
The cello. I want to hear some cello.
What the fuck? It's like they're shoving it up our asses and we're screaming and crying, no, take it out. At least use some lube. I need 14 minutes more foreplay. I need more than 14 minutes of foreplay.
Bring back toe.
Yeah, I'd rather have 45 minutes of toe. I'd rather see toe naked. Eating a cheeseburger.
Off of kids' butt. All it is about Betty is that they're fucking overdoing it.
Yeah, I really think that's what it is. They're just like shoving it down our throats. And the natural reaction to something being forced on you is to reject it.
Yeah, I don't want to ever see or hear them again. Every time I do, I'm instantly like, no.
Well, they make their little cameos
That's
here
fine.
and there, and
That's
I've been
fine.
okay with that. Some of the other L Word fans are not okay with that. But I've been like, okay, whatever, that's cool. But Jesus Christ, this week, literally Betty had more screen time than a lot of the principals.
I don't know what else to say. Everybody else feels exactly the same. If you like Betty, I would love to meet you. We've never received an email that's like, hey, I love Betty. I'm going to buy all their albums and I hope they are on every show. Everybody is sick of them.
I'm sure that they're nice people.
Don't say that.
But
everybody's nice people. That doesn't mean...
yeah, there are some nice people that aren't on TV. And that's okay with me.
What
all
more
I'm
can
going to
we
say
say?
is we're not here to kiss Showtime's ass. We're here for the fans. And the fans fucking hate Betty.
They don't even hate the band.
I'm expressing the vast majority of the L Word fans. I believe. If I'm wrong, let me know. If you're going to write in and tell me you like Betty, you have to also tell me whether you actually know them personally or not.
I think we've said enough.
They're okay. They could have been okay, but give me a fucking break.
They're a band. They know how to play their instruments and sing. That's fine. That's whatever. But it's too much. They have an intro that everybody hates, and now they're playing with Kit. And even on the show, Angus is like, okay, enough Betty. We want to hear Kit.
I know.
He's trying.
It's supposed to be Kit's demo. Kit sang for 2 seconds.
It's
and
almost
Betty
like a subliminal fuck off to the fans.
I don't understand it. They must know that everyone hates Betty.
Unless they completely ignore the fans, they have to know.
I don't get it. Usually when you have a television show, you want to do things that make people like your show and do less of the stuff that makes people hate your show. Maybe this is some sort of reverse marketing that I'm not familiar with.
I can handle the whatever, how many seconds the intro is, 40 seconds. You know, I look at the pictures on my wall or whatever during that time period.
We get our notebooks ready.
Yeah. I'm like, I wonder what's going to happen on the show. Try to tune it out for those 40 seconds. That's okay. Whatever. You're connected. You got your little intro.
The whole show is about Betty.
Ugh. I'm done with them.
You know what? We've been podcasting for, 8 or 9 episodes, and this is the first Betty rant, so I'm proud of us for holding off this long.
Yeah, because we've received many emails that are anti-Betty.
Yeah, and pretty much it just says Betty WTF ? The end.
Or Betty SUX ! All right.
Yeah,
moving
none
on.
of them says
We
Betty
can't give them any more time.
ROXORS.
We can't give them any more time.
Okay, because they already had plenty.
Yes.
Betty. Okay, so 14 minutes, sans Betty, and then...
They show Bet saying goodbye in the driveway, wearing a gold hotel robe from like a Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas. I'm like, is that a pregnant stomach? Nah, that's Bet.
I know, I've never noticed them slip up to where you could see that she was pregnant on the show. I wonder if there have been any times like that.
Well, why else would she be wearing a gold robe?
No, but I'm saying that is to hide her belly, and it hid her belly. But I'm wondering if they made any errors where you could see her belly.
So she's saying goodbye to Tina. Well, she's basically saying goodbye to Angelica.
Yeah, and fuck off to Tina.
And then that creepy social worker shows up and sees right through their little con and basically hints at what is to come, I think.
I think so, too.
Gives Tina something to think about while Bet is away.
And it was weird, too, because she's like, what if you find someone else? Why would you want Bet to have adopted your child? And she doesn't say, I'm not going to find someone else. She says, I don't think that's relevant. They're both pretty much accepting the demise of Bet. Yeah, if I were Tina, I wouldn't have Bet adopt the kid.
No, probably
I'd put the brakes on. I might not let her know till I had all my shit out of the house, but...
Well, Bet's not going to take that lying down.
Well, there's nothing she can do about it.
Nah, we'll see.
There is nothing she can do
There
about
are
it.
some things you can do about it.
What's she going to do? Kidnap her and take her to Mexico?
Maybe. It's a cute baby.
They can go hang out with Helena, hiding out down in Tijuana, escaping the law. Then after Bet says her goodbye to Angelica and Tina, 19 minutes into the show, we have more Betty.
Please don't say that word again. I swear to God, I'm going to start punching the wall.
Well, what I've written down here...
You've written down the times. We should time it. How many minutes of the show were consumed? How many of the, 46 minutes of the precious L-word time was devoted to that band?
And then you know what else? In Land Ahoy, they had the same character slept with Octopus Head and then was going to sleep with Shane. That would never happen. I don't care how big your chart is.
All right, please stop with the B word.
Okay.
And I'm not talking about bisexual. Dana and Alice go to wax for her haircut.
Shane shaves Dana's head.
And there, again, Alice has a tear in her eye.
So does Dana.
Dana looks pretty strong at that point, I thought. Shane looks sincere. Shane's really good at looking sincere, and I know what you're feeling.
She's had a lot of practice.
Yeah. So they shaved Dana's head, and then they put a big rubber bald head cap on her. Cause
it's so fake looking, which I'm glad that it was fake looking, because seeing Dana bald was just, I mean, it's so horrible. It's just traumatic and awful.
It looks okay when she has a hat on. I mean, not okay,
well,
but it looks more authentic. But when they show her bald head, it's like 6 inches higher.
It's
than
like
it
as big as the moon.
She looks like she's from Roswell.
I mean, it looked kind of stupid, but I was glad it looked stupid because that was a hard thing to see. It's so sad. Why didn't the Dana scenes have the maximum emotional impact? The score! The music!
Oh, fuck. Oh, God. You're
Am
totally
I right?
Yes. Yes. Yes, you're right.
I mean, I hate to just hammer away at this one single note, but if they could do it, so can I.
We're sending them hate mail. Right now, I mean, we're sending them hate vibes.
They sent us hate vibes. This whole episode of the L Word was like a big fuck you to the fans. They're just stabbing me in the heart, or maybe in the ears.
And again,
we got to get off of this. I
I'm
feel
trying to move on here.
like I'm taking it too far, but it just made me mad.
I feel like irked by it. Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
You're right. We need to. Shane looked cute. Except for why was she wearing like skinhead suspenders?
Yeah, suspenders, not cool ever.
That was a little weird.
Unless you're a 70-year-old dude drinking coffee in the morning at the farmer's market.
And they're red.
Or rainbow. Do you ever notice how old dudes wear rainbow suspenders and you're always like, that's so gay?
I never thought that's so gay because they're obviously not. But yeah.
Twist.
That's when Shane's wearing the little glasses and she looks really cute and they do a close-up on her face. And...
Come back to reality, Casey. Come back.
Right. Tina shows up at the studio, even though Bet told her not to go because she doesn't get the benefits of being her life partner anymore.
Bet's already partitioning their friends.
Her family.
Kit is Bet's sister, and Bet thinks that Tina fucked Josh, which Tina wanted to. Why would Tina think that she still gets to be friends with Kit?
Because she's been friends with her for nearly a decade.
You know what? If my girlfriend cheats on me with some dude, she's not going to be able to go to my sister's studio sessions anymore.
Okay. Never mind.
I know what you're thinking, and you better not say that. Ding, 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 ding.
And then Bet calls. She's like, you know what? Why don't you call Tina and tell her to come on down? And Kit's like, oh, she's right here. You want to talk to her? And
Bet's like, God damn it.
She just, if she could have slammed down that cell phone, she would have. But instead, she just flips it shut.
That's the biggest drawback of cell phones. You can throw them across the room, but you can't slam them down.
Even if you throw them across the room, they're fine.
Have you ever?
Thrown a phone?
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever really thrown anything.
Have you ever thrown pizza?
I threw peanut butter.
Oh, let's not go there.
The
dog finally got to eat the peanut butter, by the way, in case you were wondering.
We cleaned the ceiling off by now. What have you thrown?
Oh, all kinds of shit.
Yeah, you're crazy, lady. Okay.
I've probably had more shit thrown at me, though, than I have
Really?
thrown. I don't know. I had this one boyfriend that loved to throw shit at me when he got mad.
Ew.
He broke all this stuff in my house. It was weird.
That has such a different feeling than if you would have said I had this one girlfriend who threw shit at me, because that's like Shane and Carmen hilarious fighting. Ugh.
He was no Max.
E-pad.
No, he was a maxi pad. Totally.
Who's a... How can... You're a maxi pad? I don't even know what, like...
Without wings.
He protected your underwear?
Okay. Max is apparently surprised to find out that his insurance doesn't cover sex change.
Yeah, who the fuck doesn't know
Who
that?
doesn't know that? Especially since he's known he was transgendered since he was like 10, apparently. And then Jenny, they've been dating for what, like 3 days? Jenny's like, I'll pay for it.
Well,
With what? Jenny was working at the grocery store until a week ago.
it's
She
only
needs to save her money for her
$7,000.
next trip to rehab or whatever.
It's only like $7,000.
Only?
Max doesn't let Jenny pay for it. Instead,
Well, good.
they're gonna... What doctor's like, you know what? Maybe you should have a little party with your community and they can raise money. First of all, Max doesn't have any fucking friends. Nobody even likes the dude. If Shane likes everybody. Shane doesn't like him. They're having a benefit for somebody that nobody knows.
It's just an excuse for them to have another party at the planet. 25 minutes into the show. B.
But hey,
Mangus throws a hissy fit because he's like, these bitches fucking suck, Kit. What are you doing?
I agree, Mangus.
Okay. Who says, party on, Dana? Party
What?
on.
Who said that?
Who do you think?
Party on?
Yeah, she says, party on, Dana.
Oh, one of the band
Look, I have
members?
cancer. I've had chemotherapy. I lost all my hair. Party on. What is it, 1992?
According to her hair, it is.
This is bad. I mean, I don't want to... Oh.
What? You know it's true.
Party on, bald-headed lady. Party on. Party on, Dana. Party on, podcasters. Jesus fucking
All right,
Christ.
please.
WTF? I swear to God, I would rather listen to 45 minutes of Drive Shaft.
I'd rather
You all, everybody.
I'd rather listen to 45 minutes of a nipple in a baggie fall into the floor.
Don't.
Why?
Because that's one of the worst things we ever said.
It's one of the best things. I'd rather listen to 45 minutes of Toe having diarrhea.
Oh, Jesus. I'd rather go to church.
I'm speechless.
Tina does some more eye rolling. And then 29 minutes into the show.
Okay.
And then 32 minutes.
I can't believe you wrote this shit down.
I was fucking shocked.
Let's just go through it really quick so you don't keep doing this.
Okay. All right.
Betty was on the show
compare
at what
the number of
intervals?
nipples we saw
Oh.
to the amount of Betty we saw, and then tell me how they're giving the fans what they want. Okay, we got 14 minutes, 19 minutes, 25, 29,
Holy shit, it's
32,
literally every 5 minutes.
48, 51, 56. The end. The show's over. It's like every 5 minutes.
Just at least do it like through subliminal messages. Just flash the word Betty every
Can we
15
just,
seconds.
like, if all of us buy their album and give them some money, can we just stop having to look at them?
Let's pay for the CD so that we don't have to hear and see them anymore.
If everyone on the planet has already bought their album, they won't need to advertise anymore and we can finally be free of them.
I know, are they so desperate to sell CDs that they have to invade our favorite television show?
Do you know how many awesome lesbian artists there are? Like, why
or
can't
just
they get
female artists?
Everybody likes the L word. What about Latecomer? Peaches. I mean, Peaches was already on there. Heavens to Betsy. Fucking anyone.
Any Riot Girl
Chicks on
band.
Speed. Tegan and Sarah. Katie Turnstile. I don't care. Like, there are a million good bands out there.
Don't you like Betty?
Why has it got to be the same
Come on,
shit
Elka.
over and over?
Betty. It just rolls off the tongue. Betty. I think in France, that's like the slang for bitches. Come on, quit. Oh, we've done it. We've done it now.
I know. Our show, in honor of the L word, we're going to talk about Betty every 5 minutes.
Jesus.
We're converted.
This is how
it's
annoying
like a fucking cult. Oh, and then I can't stop. And then they go in there. Carmen goes in. Betty's playing some music. And Carmen's like, "Ooh, this is so good. It sounds so good."
In the most unconvincing.
It sounds like a fucking infomercial.
Oh my God, you're right.
This is so good, you guys. It's so good. Could you
is.
be any more pandering?
It is like brainwashing. Slater Kinney was on and they played music and it was really good. And I bet they sold a fucking lot of CDs because of that. And Betty's on and I bet their CD sales went down because of it.
I want to buy their CDs just so I can run them over with my car.
It'd be better to just mention the name of the band, Betty, and not play their music, and they'd probably sell more CDs.
You're right.
Because I'm so sick. Okay, if you haven't gotten it by now, we're fucking sick of them.
We've gone really easy on them as far as the intro goes. Everybody hates the intro. We've barely touched on that. But they're asking for this.
Okay, this is
what do they think is going to happen?
It's getting really old.
They're asking for it. Look how they were dressed.
We're going to have to cut a lot of this out.
I know, but Jesus.
We've spent like 15 minutes talking about him for real.
Like half an hour. So let's talk about Jelena.
First of all,
I wish I had someone else to back me up here.
Well, am I not?
No one trusts you. Casey, you got my back, right?
Yes, I believe.
We watched together tonight.
Plus, I think you said it before tonight.
I didn't say it on the air before.
You totally predicted that Jelena was a schemer.
I knew
and a skeezer.
it.
You did. And then they were dropping hints throughout the show and you pretty much knew it was coming. But yes, Elka totally predicted this. I think in like the first scene with Dylan on this show, you're like, do you think she's conning her? And I was like, I don't know. Maybe she's a gold digger. And then you're like, she's conning her.
Oh, you're right. Because like a week ago I said she's a gold digger. And you're like, what?
Yeah. And I was like, that'd be a good way to go at it. And they're doing it. And
That's
they're a little
fucked up.
Yeah. But amusing.
I was so mad. But you know what? As soon as I saw Helena's house, I'm like, yeah, I hope she gets I was like, I hope something bad happens to her. No one deserves to live like that.
Yeah, that house was
That house was like the architectural equivalent of an orgasm.
Well, there were little hints being dropped throughout the show. I mean, Helena brings up that she's going to fly everybody to San Jose to see this basketball game.
The Lightning.
On her private jet. And Dylan's like, oh my God. And she's like, do you think it's too much? And she's like, I think it's awesome. And
Because
then
it's all going to be mine.
yeah, she's getting on the plane thinking, this is going to be mine in a few weeks. I don't know. There are just little hints dropped. They show her reaction to the house. She looks like, yeah, this is cool.
And then she fucks like a volcano. And Helen is like, are you sure you've never done this before? And then she's talking to Danny on the phone the next day.
On the deck.
And she's like, I can't talk about this right now, but don't worry, it's all good.
Yeah. And then even Helena looks a little weirded out, like, what, he doesn't care that you were gone all night? She's like, oh no, we're very independent people. Yeah, right. So Dylan is a shyster.
Well, the good thing is that Helena fans and the Rachel Shelley fans don't know that Dylan ends up being a scam artist, because during the sex scene, all their heads exploded and they're all dead now.
Oh my God. You mean because they saw Rachel Shelley's awesome
Arched back.
Oh man, she's got a nice body.
Holy beans.
She works out. Did you see her arms? The muscles on her arms were almost as big as her erect nipples. She was nice.
She's like a human anime character.
She is really hot.
She's not even my type at all, but I mean, it's like seeing fine art. You have to appreciate it.
Have we seen her breasts before?
I don't know. We better not say, or else we're going to get 100 emails like, is that scene? Blah, blah, blah.
I don't know if we did. Because she was in the pool with Tina, but I don't remember. And I think I would have remembered that body. She was...
The weird thing is, obviously, Rachel Shelley is amazing, but the sex scene itself wasn't.
No. Okay, they were in Helena's house. They were both in their matching bras and panties, and they were about to get on the bed, and it looked really awkward. And at one point, after they were on the bed and they were into it a little bit, Rachel Shelley actually had a look of, this isn't natural to me.
They didn't have very good chemistry, huh?
Alexandra Hedison, not that smooth in the bedroom on camera.
Who would?
I would have been a fucking nervous wreck. I would have just been like,
Isn't that how you usually are during your sex scenes?
Yeah.
That was a weird sex scene. I was more interested in her house than in the sex.
They didn't really show that much.
That's part of why I decided that Dylan was a schemer. When Shane fucks Sherry Jaffe, you know she means it.
But they did have that longing, heavy breathing, I want to kiss you, like, for 10 minutes thing going on. They're into that. Those two are always like, it's like Darth Vader entered the room.
Well, Dylan is just panting at the thought of Helena's cash that she's going to end up with, apparently.
And they just both start to perspire and, oh my God.
Well, you know what I was thinking? You know how Dylan had to infiltrate this girl gang to make her documentary? So maybe she has good conning skills. Not that she necessarily conned those girls, but I mean, she had to be able to manipulate her way into their inner circle to make her documentary.
I mean, obviously she wants money, but do you think so you think she really is a filmmaker?
Of course she is.
And that whole thing's real.
Yeah.
Well, why would she be conning her? I mean, she's going to make her famous.
I think she has some sort of self-justification thing going on where she's like, well, I can use this money to help people through my documentaries. And Helena's just using it to fly people around in her private jet.
Helena is a total...
I know, she's a philanthropist.
Dylan's just a shyster. She's a con artist.
She's Sawyer.
So, more of that next week.
So, okay, remember like 2 or 3 weeks ago I said, do you think Dylan left her jacket there on purpose?
Obviously she did.
I was right. And, also I was wondering, do you think Dylan faked her orgasms with Helena?
Oh, God. How could you look at her?
What?
Oh, you think she's just a straight woman?
Maybe. Or bi.
No, I don't think she faked it.
Everything else with
Look
Helena.
at Helena.
I think she faked her orgasms.
Man, whatever. You don't have to. She could still have a good time.
You know it was just TV and they weren't really having sex, right?
What?
We act like it'd be so impossible to fake an orgasm, but they were literally faked.
Well, yeah. But we're talking, obviously this whole thing is fucking fake. What?
I'm saying, do you think she faked it?
Well, we're
and
talking
you
about
said,
the
like, how could she have possibly
character.
faked that orgasm?
We're talking about the character here.
Well, I think she faked
I
it.
realize that these are not real people and that we're not spying on them through a secret special camera box in our living room. What are you talking about?
You know what I'm talking about,
No,
bitch.
I really don't now. What? What do you mean? What, you think they really fucked on TV?
No, I know they didn't. I was
Me
asking
too.
if you knew.
Oh, really? I thought they were really girlfriends in the... What?
But you know what?
What the fuck?
You know what about that show is real? Betty sucks in real life.
What are you... What?
I said, do you think
Are
she
you
faked
joking?
the orgasm? And you gave me this look like, how could she have possibly faked that orgasm?
Well, hello,
and
we're
I'm
talking
saying, well,
about
she
it.
did literally fake the orgasm.
All right, you've blown the whole show now. You've blown our cover.
What cover?
Now these people know that the L word is not real life.
Oh my god, it's like Santa.
Are you fucking retarded?
Yes.
Of course. We are talking about this in the context of the characters on a television show.
Well, what I'm saying is I think the character of Dylan faked her orgasms.
Well, I'm saying that if this were to have happened in real life, which is the only context I could possibly think of it in, because I'm a living human being on a planet with oxygen and sex. All right. Get off the hemp seed smoothies. What I'm saying is, I don't even know where to begin with you now. Of course it's not real. Of course Alexander Hedison and Rachel Shelley didn't fuck.
That we know.
Well, the scene that we saw. All right, I don't even know what to say. It's like telling you common sense. This is a table. This is a real table.
Can we move on?
The table on TV is not a real table, but I am relating it to this table because they're the same.
The signified and the signifier.
That was fucking weird. I don't know. My brain is going around in circles now.
Do you know one of our listeners emailed us and asked us if we are high when we record this podcast?
High on peanut
I'm
butter.
like, I have not been high since I graduated from college, okay?
Don't exaggerate.
It's true.
Okay, talk about the weenies in the bag.
I don't care about the weenies in the
You
bag.
don't?
Max gets a box of cocks.
With generic labels on them typed out with an old-fashioned typer. It's like, wiener that you can pee out of. Or something. And he's like, I'm going to be able to whip it out now.
Max did look really, really pleased to be able to go into the men's room and pee at the urinal with all the other dudes.
What about Jenny's reaction to the bag of weens?
Jenny is like the ideal girlfriend for a person going through this, and Max is just fucking it up.
Yeah, what more could he ask
She
for?
liked Moira. She likes Max. She's totally into it. She's defending them at every
She could do so
confrontation.
much better, and she's choosing not to for reasons unknown to everyone.
I mean, yeah, she's a little bit kinky, but
Well, that's a plus.
he let Billy blow his dildo. I mean, let's not point fingers here when we start talking about kinky.
Well, where do you think that you buy that stuff?
You can get it anywhere.
A peeing weenie?
Okay, have you heard of this thing they have now? It's called the internet.
No. He brought a bag in. It said like
It was like in his...
Weenie World on it.
Well, I mean, Weenie World. I don't know.
He went somewhere and bought that.
Well, they probably went to that store that Alice and Dana and Tanya were in that had the chocolate nipples.
That was a sex toy store.
Well, these are like sex toys. They're not prosthetics, exactly.
Oh, those toys aren't any fun.
You
Look at
look
me
so
pee.
sad.
Look at me pee like a boy. Look at me pee.
Well, look, if
Look
you
at me
were a
pee.
boy and
Look
you
at me
didn't
pee
have
on this Betty CD. Look at me pee. Look at me pee.
You know what? If you were a boy and you didn't have a cock, you'd be kind of traumatized by that. What if you didn't have any boobs? You would not be a happy camper. If you got some boobs, you'd be like, I'm going shopping for a bra. Look at me.
All I'm saying is, where the hell do you buy the shit? We're allowed to talk about it.
I know.
We're allowed to talk about whatever the hell we want. I mean, we're allowed to talk about, what do you think Jenny thought of the fake bag of weenies? They're fake. They're not penises in a bag. Do you understand the difference?
No.
Do you understand the difference here?
Yes.
This is a television show. These are
What
fake.
are you scolding me for?
Because you were telling me. You realize that they didn't really have an orgasm. And now I'm saying.
I can't do this with you anymore.
All right, I quit.
I
again.
want to
We
break
quit again.
up with you.
We quit again.
I quit. I'm going home.
Man, I could do this with a jar of peanut butter. It'd be more fun. The peanut butter has more to say than you do. I noticed that when
that never gets old for me. It's old for everyone else.
I did notice, nobody's gonna know what the fuck I'm talking about here, but what else
If you start talking about cars, I'm going to unplug your mic.
Worse. Guns.
What?
You really look confused now. Okay, when Shane and Alice are playing Halo 2 on the Xbox.
Oh my God.
First of all, they should be playing it on the Xbox 360. But anyway, they're playing Halo 2 on the Xbox, and they both have the most pussified weapons. The plasma gun. Everybody knows you can't fucking beat anybody with the plasma gun. Get the rocket launcher, if you know what I mean. And I think that if Max were playing, he'd whip out the rocket launcher. That was cute, though, watching them play their video games.
Jenny's writing, and Max comes out like, hey, what are you doing? And Jenny says, well, I'm writing a story about you. And Max kind of flips out a little bit.
A little?
Which, to me, you know what? I kind of see where he's coming from.
You would throw the computer around?
No, and he didn't, but I would be really upset.
He was a little bit too aggressive, and that's why Shane gave him the look like, what the fuck?
Yes, but I'm saying that I could see where he was coming from. But then the next day, Jenny kind of goes out to patch things up with Max, and she really sticks up for herself.
Okay,
it's nice to see Jenny not being this meek little victim.
She hasn't been like that all this season.
Jenny's got, like, Ninja Jenny is lurking inside there. Max may have a box of cocks now, but Jenny's the one with balls.
I think that it is partially chemical because it's Jenny, and pretty much all he had to do was come out and be like, I really don't feel comfortable with you writing that. And she'd be like, oh, I'm sorry. I won't write it then. But instead
I don't think so. I think she'd write it anyway.
Well, what is grabbing the computer going to do?
You're right.
I'm confused by this angle that they're doing. This was a good scene. When they were at the recording studio, huh?
Nothing.
What'd you say?
Nothing.
Shh.
Betty.
Now you got me all perplexed. When they're at the recording studio,
Betty.
What?
They're at the recording studio.
They're at the recording studio, and Helena and Dylan are sitting out on some love seat. It looks like Dylan is giving Helena, I'm calling her Dylana now, thanks. It looks like Dylan is giving Helena like a hand job or something. Helena has a satisfied look on her face, and Tina kind of looks over, rolls her eyes to the other side of the room. Helena gets up and leaves. She's like, I'm going to have a spot of tea. And Dylan's like, do you want some tea, Tina? And she's like, I've already had that tea.
She's like, I am done with tea. I'm ready for some pee. Pee-nay. Helena got her mom's private jet to fly them all to that Lightning basketball game. I noticed that the jet has a female pilot, which is something I fly a lot for my job, and I have never in my whole life seen a woman pilot.
I think it's seriously less than 1% of pilots are female.
Which is kind of a bummer. I don't know. But here's what I noticed about that pilot. You never see the pilot. You hear her voice over the intercom, right?
Sounded like Betty.
She says, welcome to Flight
It was Betty.
815. No, quit saying that word. Welcome to Oceanic Airlines Flight 815. No, she's just saying blah, blah, blah over the thing. But did you listen to the pilot's voice?
No. Was it Betty?
Don't say that word. I'm warning you. The pilot's voice, though. It sounded exactly like, I think it's the same person who's been calling us from Portland every week. It's the same voice. If you watch it again, I swear to God, it's the girl from Portland. She's the pilot.
What's her name?
That's why she calls us all the time.
What's her name?
I think it's Carolina.
Oh, yeah. Are you being serious?
It sounds just like her.
That's funny.
And as soon as I heard it, I'm like, oh my God, that's our girl from Portland. We got to backtrack a minute because before they left for the basketball game, Alice runs Dana a bath, and Dana asks Alice to leave the room, but then she can't get her bra off. So she has Alice come back in to help her get her bra unlatched.
Yeah, and she
that happened twice in the show because Dylan couldn't get Helena's bra off either. And then Helena just waves her hand and the bra flies off.
Really?
Yeah, did you notice that?
That never happens.
What?
Women know how to take bras off of one another and off of themselves. I mean, I'm sure the Dana
No,
situation.
you need practice taking it off someone else at first. It's a whole different thing.
I've never had any problems.
Well, you just look at women and their underwears just fly off. Did you say
underwears?
Yeah.
What the hell?
I thought it was funnier that way.
My underwears are falling off. Underwears.
What do you have to say about the bathroom scene?
Oh, now that we're laughing. I don't know. What can you say?
It was one of the most intense moments of the whole series.
You say that every single show. Well, here's what I have to say about it. Dana's trying to get her bra off. She can't. And before she even really has time to think about what's about to come out of her mouth, she's like, Alice, like asking for her. She's calling for Alice.
Mm-hmm.
And then as soon as she does, Alice is like, yeah. Then she pauses and thinks for a second and she's like, I need help. And it was really weird because it was like instinctually Dana called Alice.
I have a different take on that than you.
Yeah?
We're really disagreeable tonight, aren't we?
What's yours?
I
bitch?
think that she called Alice because
Okay.
Alice is there, but Dana isn't used to asking anyone for help with anything. I mean, she asked Shane's help trying to find out if Laura was a dyke, but nothing serious. Dana doesn't like being in a position where she needs other people to help her.
I wonder if she realized when she called her that she was going to end up taking her bra off in front of her.
I don't think she did.
Why
I think
do you
it was
think
impulsive.
She turned around and looked at her just to be like, look, this is really happening.
Yeah, I think it was what you said. I think that she didn't want Alice to see, but then once Alice was in here, Dana was like, all right, I'm going to face this.
And Alice had she had like a jarred look.
She was about to cry. And you can tell Alice is madly in love with Dana no matter what. Dana could look like the Toxic Avenger, and Alice would think she was beautiful, which is probably bad news for Alice. Because either Dana's going to get back with Laura, or she's going to die. Neither one is a good outcome for Alice. Did the Manny actually propose to Kit?
In like a very unromantic way, I think he was.
Kit says that Angus is too young for her, and then she does the I Can't Hear You song. Immature? A little bit.
Huh?
She puts her hands over her ears and is like, la 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 la, I'm not listening, I can't hear you, la la la. He's immature, Kit?
So they're on the plane and Max sits down next to Dana and he's kind of comparing his situation to hers. And I thought that was really shallow at first. But then later, Dana asks him what he meant by it, and he tells her, and it seems like they're kind of on the same page now or something. What did you think of it?
I don't think that Max exactly felt like what he's going through is similar to what Dana's going through, but I think that he knew that he made her uncomfortable, and he was trying to rectify that, and I think he did. I don't think he would have brought it up unless he knew that Dana was uncomfortable around him. They go to the basketball game, and as Dana walks into the stadium, it's this is like my worst nightmare. I can't think of anything I would hate more than this. She walks in, there's a stadium full of people, they put spotlights on her, they put video of her on the Jumbotron. Everybody's cheering and staring at her.
Somebody runs up to her and gives her a stuffed moose.
Oh my God, it was just like a nightmare.
And she's about to turn around and run away. And then
it's like that nightmare everybody has had where you show up somewhere naked because she's lost all her hair. I'm sure that makes her feel completely naked and vulnerable because she's not as strong as she's used to being. Oh my God, it was just awful. And how could her friends have thought that was a good idea?
I think it was kind of Helena's idea. She's about to run out and then Max tells her to stay, basically.
Yeah, he says, it's not for you, it's for them. And I'm sure that the friends don't know that. Dana and Max are the only ones that realize that. Maybe it's your first hint that Dana's not going to have the worst of this in some ways. I mean, like obviously Dana is suffering, but the people that she leaves behind if she dies are going to continue to suffer. Pretty much don't need to read spoilers on the internet to know that Dana's a goner.
I didn't read any spoilers.
That's what I'm saying. We don't read spoilers, but it's
pretty obvious here.
At this point, I'm just going to go out on a limb and make this prediction.
Well, otherwise they'd be building her character up and like maybe not so soon, but I think they'd be making her get her strength back and showing that she's able to beat this terrible disease, and she's not doing that. Is that how they ended the show?
But okay, so the last scene is Dana in the stadium, and it's just this heart-wrenching.
It's not the last scene, but
intensely sad scene. And just at the moment when you're on the verge of tears, they play the most ridiculous music, and it completely just yanks you out of the moment.
Yep, you're right.
If they had chosen the right song there, everyone would have been crying. And instead, everybody's like, fucking shit. It was so bad that I just wrote down a few lyrics that I heard of the song. It's a WOMEN thing, sisters. Yin to yang, pleasure or pain. Mother Nature rules us all.
Oh, fuck off. die. Jesus.
At this point, I'd be happier if the Indigo Girls were the house band. I really feel personally insulted. All right, I'm letting it go. And then Tina's at home alone fucking her computer again.
You think?
Yeah, she's sitting on the bed with the laptop and the blue glow on her face. She's obviously...
Not necessarily, but yeah, possibly. Okay, that's in the scenes from... Let's do the scenes from next week officially.
Okay.
They show the fundraiser that Max's doctor suggested.
For his top surgery.
Max is like freaking out on Jenny and saying like, you're my girlfriend. And she's like, I'll dance with whoever I want.
So this is obviously the drugs talking. Max isn't going to go that far on his own, I don't think. Unless maybe that's what Max is really like. Maybe he's an abusive asshole. But I think that there's something going on with the drugs.
Yeah, I think that's highly probable too.
I don't think he's a monster.
Well, that's what Jenny calls him. I think she's like, are you that person or are you this monster? And
yeah, because Jenny doesn't care which genitals her partner has or which gender pronouns they use, but she cares how they treat other people. Is Max just switching equipment or is he switching his whole entire personality?
Stay tuned. The most disturbing scene for me that they showed from next week was Carmen's mom. Well, it was Shane, Carmen, and Carmen's mother sitting at a table outside or something.
And some of the other relatives.
It sounds like Carmen's mom is, again, trying to hook Carmen up with someone else.
I think she's trying to hook Shane up with a guy.
Or yeah, trying to hook Shane up with someone else.
And Carmen got pissed. Carmen's a jealous woman.
She's muy caliente, as Alice said. Carmen says something to her mother like, quit trying to pimp out Shane. Then she says, she's my girlfriend. And then
instantly the mother's like, get the hell out. She doesn't even take a second for it to sink in. It's like she knew and everything's okay if they can just pretend it's not true.
Do you think that she was saying that to both of them or just Shane?
Yeah, no, both of them.
Well, I think that's very realistic.
It is, unfortunately, realistic. I'm not even going to go into it because my head will explode and I'll be dead like all the Rachel Shelley fans.
You know what? They could have made that scene worse by playing... No, never mind. Okay. I mean, if you really want to
Yeah, I think Betty
pain.
was playing at the barbecue at Carmen's mom's house.
Shut up. And when they show Carmen driving around in her Jeep from the mom's house, they're going to be playing Betty.
Yeah, and then they're going to drive up to a stoplight, and the other car at the red light is going to be full of Betty.
And then at Dana's funeral, they're going to play Betty.
And then the ringtone on Alice's phone is a Betty song. How much more Betty can they fit into 45 minutes?
I think
Betty's going to have to start being on the other Showtime shows just because there's not enough room for it in the L Word. Betty's going to be buying weed from Mary Louise Parker on Weeds next week.
Betty's going to be in the hatch on Lost.
Betty's the monster!
Be sure to pick up the CD of Betty.
And throw it back down in your garbage disposal.
And then they show Helena being served her sexual harassment papers.
By Dylan. That's so fucked up. And as soon as that happened, Casey's like, oh my God, you totally predicted that. Yeah. And we never recorded it. If only I had recorded that, I'd be having a huge I told you so dance right now. Instead, I'm just going to do a little I told you so dance.
And they show Dana going back into the hospital.
Looks like something happens. It looks like an unexpected trip to the hospital.
Okay.
She only has a few more episodes to live if she's going to die in the season finale.
I have a feeling she might die in the one before it. I don't know. We'll see. So this was episode 8.
This is worse than Dumbledore dying.
Was this episode? I think the show would have been really good if it weren't for, you know what?
You know,
the band that shall not be named.
It's like the Voldemort of music. From now on, let's just refer to them as Voldemort.
Let's call them the band that shall not be named because I'm sick of saying the band that shall not be named.
I can't believe that we said nice things about the writing last week.
I stand by that, but I mean, quit whoring yourselves out for fuck's sake.
Subtlety is really can be a good thing.
Or maybe just not, a huge infomercial.
We're going to turn off the mics now and keep bitching about Betty for a few more days. So are we going to do our bonus chart this week?
I don't know.
If you have any comments, questions, observations, or predictions, you can contact us at theplanetcast@gmail.com, or you can visit our blog at theplanetcast.blogspot.com. We have changed our specs so that anyone can comment on the blog now. And while you're there, click on our link to the Frapper map and stick a pin in our world map. If you'd like to call and leave your message on the answering machine, I promise I won't let Casey anywhere near it this week. The number is 505-244-0531.
Stay tuned for next week's episode, episode 9. 9 already.
Oh, man.
Lead, follow, or get out of the way. Apparently it's about a group of ducks.
What? Thanks for listening, bitches.
Adios, amigas.
Hello? Hello? Alice, are you there? Dana, pick up the phone. Call me back. Bye. Hey, what up? It's me, Nips from NYC. Just wanted to say your show is kick-ass, man. I love it. I just wondering, actually, who is the youngest listener that you guys have. So, maybe you can ask and find out. And if I'm the youngest one, then shit. Hell yeah. But I wonder if there's anybody younger. So, hopefully not, because you guys are nasty sometimes, but shit, I love it. Alright, talk to you later. Peace out. Here's the story of Planet Podcast, where we talk about the L word on Showtime. First we have Casey, and then there's Elka. And yes, the song must rhyme. Here's the story of a trans named Moira, who was busy with a penis of her own. She's not a man, but not quite a woman. Please God, don't let her clone. Till the one day when our Kelka met this Moira, and they decided that they'd like to go to lunch. Now this group is trying to form a family, and we call them the Trans Lesbian Bisexual Bunch, the Trans Lesbian Bisexual Bunch, the Trans Lesbian Bisexual Bunch. That's the way they became the Trans Lesbian Bisexual Bunch. But I'm gonna bump, 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 bump. Love you.
Hey, Casey and Elka. This is Aldrich, a.k.a. the dude from UC Davis.
And this is Pam, the chick who lives in you and lecture also from UC Davis. And we're just calling to tell you how much we like you guys.
We are really big fans of you and
Really big.
that we don't listen in class.
We do from time to time.
When they're saying something useful. But because your stuff is a lot more useful to us then.
It really is.
So anyways, you're asking me to record what I said last time. I don't remember most of that because I was whined out.
Inebriated.
Okay, yeah, starting all the people who don't like the podcast, not the email you got, I think you should post it up on your blogcast and publish their emails and contact numbers.
So we can fuck them for you.
You guys have heard of Margaret's show, and Margaret's show talks about Al-Qaeda. You should Al-Qaeda on these stupid bitches.
They're not bitches. They're misguided bitches.
We love your show, and we download it every single time that you
We do.
sometimes when we're not supposed to during class.
And writing papers, but you help us get through those papers. We crack up. And we look like idiots doing it, but it's okay.
So please keep doing this.
Yes. We love you guys. Okay.
And if you delete this message, I'm going to send naked mole rats.
Bye. Hey, ladies. This is Jessica. I'm calling from Dallas, Texas. I decided I'd call to tell you that I just spent the last 2.5 hours in traffic. And the one thing that kept me from screaming my head off and honking the crap out of my horn was listening to you guys. So keep up the good work. You're doing a good job. All right, bye. Hello.
I have to confess, I'm in love with Elka and Casey. Who are you? I need to know. I'm in love with you. Yeah, it's Trish. I just just put my thumbtack in your map, and I have a computer, so I'm checking out the site. I don't know how to listen to stuff or anything like that, but I'm in love with you guys. I'm still in love with you guys. All right, love you guys. Bye.
Hello, ladies. This is Victoria in Oregon, and can you hear this? Can you hear that?
okay? I have to listen to that every single day until you get your podcast up. So I'm calling to beg you, please, put the podcast on. Okay. Anyway, thanks. Victoria from Oregon. Do it.
End of messages.
Do it.
And I went through this whole thing, I was like, am I gay? Am I straight? And I realized I'm just slutty. Where's my parade?
You just said titties.
I said kitties. Here, kitties.
Okay.
The music at the beginning of this podcast is Slater Kinney off of their album, The Woods.